Được. I'm confused.
Recording in progress.
Hello. Good morning.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure to jump on because I know sometimes, with getting the PowerPoint to share, it can be complicated. So I want to make sure we had it up ahead of time or, troubleshooted that before the call. So,
I'm sorry if you can hear my dog bark. I don't know what
oh
she's.
no, I didn't hear the dog.
I'm in a meeting.
Oh. Okay.
Jesus. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
It's good.
So it's
I already made you co-host, so you should be good to troubleshoot if you want to share just to see if it works or
yeah, I wanted to do presenter view, but I don't think I'll be able to see the chat um if I do that.
and if I need to just keep an eye on the chat, I can.
Yeah, because I can't see you anymore. Once
And
I do.
what's your number? Because if it will be helpful for me to like maybe text you throughout the
Yes, that'd be
if something
perfect. So
goes
then
wrong.
I don't have to be like Shekinah.
Yeah, that's what me and Erica will always do, like because Zoom is just so unpredictable.
Technology, period. Because Teams is no better.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 317
Okay.
702 0888.
Okay, I just sent you a text.
Okay, yep. Got it. Okay, perfect. So we can look professional. No.
Um,
Let me turn my phone on vibrate because somebody will call. Okay, so that worked. That was easier than I thought.
okay.
So I'm gonna end that. And then now I know how to get in there once we get started, go down to my toolbar and everything. Okay. So I'm good on that part. Anything we need to go over before we get started?
Um, no, I think my only question is when people get started, I mean, do you want to take up the full hour? Do you want to stop at maybe 11:50? Like what do you feel comfortable with?
So the presentation, it can take up to an hour because I kind of wanted to be interactive, but I was just really going to kind of pace it to where I was when I know that I was coming to the end because I definitely want to leave time for questions and people's announcements. I know that's, really important for the village.
Okay.
So,
And the next time we send out like a mass communication, I'll let people know that this is a web series. And so this isn't going to be like a typical, oh. This isn't going to be a typical, Zoom meeting where people would be able to like make announcements. We may not be able to do that every meeting in this web series. So I'll just let them know that so they'll be prepared.
Well, I can shorten it because I want them to be able to make announcements.
Are you
I
okay?
I can, I can do 45 minutes.
Okay, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm okay with whatever. Um,
Yeah, but I want them to oh, we've had somebody joined, have practice and everything for it to be interactive.
okay.
Hey. You muted, Paris.
Hello. I didn't even, I
Man.
didn't even see you. How you doing? How everybody?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yay.
Okay, thank you, Shekinah. So I'm gonna go on mute.
Okay.
Appointment next on what next Tuesday.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Just giving people some time to hop on the call. Today is part one of an exciting web series that we have getting started today. And so we are going to jump into things a bit faster today just because we want to allot as much time as possible for us to get the content, and for our speaker to be able to just teach and do all the things. And of course, we'll allot some time at the end for people to come off mute, make announcements. We'll also be dropping things in the chat throughout the call, so make sure you are keeping an eye on that. Um, we'll give people a few more minutes to hop on, and then we'll get started. Dr. Nicole, if you want to get things started at 11:05, I think that'll be enough time for people to get in and get situated.
Sounds great.
While people are coming in, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to an upcoming event that we have coming up. If you were able to take a look at our newsletter this morning, the village has our very first collaboration retreat coming up in October. That'll be hosted in Antioch at Camp Widgie. That'll be a 2-day retreat for nonprofit leaders, especially if you need a break, which I know we all do. If you need some time to just rest, some time to pause, the main theme of that retreat is collaboration. So we'll have some facilitators coming in. Hal Cato, one of our facilitators. We'll also have Ashaya with Healing Trust coming in as one of our facilitators. We'll have yoga sessions, but we want it to be a good balance of, some maybe hands-on learning experiences, but also just a lot of time to just rest, take a moment, take a beat. So again, that is a 2-day retreat. I will drop the information for that in the chat. If you would like to attend, please just make sure you register on Eventbrite as soon as possible. Spots are limited for that retreat. So please just make sure that you and if a staff member, maybe a program manager, or somebody on your staff that you know needs just could really use a 2-day break, please send that their way. Again, spots are limited, so just make sure that you register for that sooner rather than later. And I will drop that link in the chat again. And we can get things started.
Okay, awesome. Well, good morning, Village. I'm so excited to be here and be before you again. And I think that this topic is so timely for nonprofit and grassroots leaders because it's so vitally important that we communicate mission, but also use data. And so the web series is going to be 3-part, and the topic is cause-driven leaders leading through data-driven decisions. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Let me do a brief introduction for those of you that don't know me. I'm Dr. Nicole Rowan, and I have 2 decades of experience in nonprofit, leading as a CEO, executive director, and starting actually as a paid intern with a global nonprofit. So I've had multi-years of experience, multi-levels of experience, serve on several boards here in the city, and am very passionate about mentoring and supporting nonprofits. I am the founder and CEO of Press Play on Purpose. And in that, I'm a business strategist and executive coach and support nonprofits on their capacity building and sustainability. So I'm going to be leveraging all of those things in this presentation. So I'm glad that you guys are all here. Let me pull that up and share. Okay, Shekinah, if you can let me know if you can see the presentation.
We can't see it just yet.
Okay. Hmm, Let me go back. Okay, are you able to see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it in presentation view?
No.
Okay.
There you
Is
go.
it? Okay, perfect. Okay, great. And I can still see you. So that's good. Okay, so our topic is cause-driven leadership through data-driven decision making. Your mission for your organization is your North Star. And I know a lot of people in nonprofit hear about mission drift. So this is definitely a way to stop the mission drift, to get clarity around what you're doing, why you're doing it. And I know when I was leading nonprofits, it was very tempting to go with funding that you tried to make fit your mission at times. And so that's not sustainable. So we want to make sure that what we are trying to achieve as a nonprofit, which is our mission, our vision, and our purpose, is being communicated in the data. And so we know that funders, community members, our stakeholders want to see the numbers. They want to see the impact, the transformation that organizations are making. And so that is the purpose of this presentation, to help each of you to gather that data and present it in a way that shows the impact that you're making. Because a lot of times we're busy doing the work. Um, and I know people that I've worked with, team members, if they were very creative and great with people, then they weren't necessarily the best at wanting to gather the data. They wanted to do the work. They wanted to, be with the people, serve the population, whether it was youth or seniors. And so we want to make sure that we're doing both and that we're doing it in excellence. So good morning again. Um, I'm going to go to the next slide, but I have a question before I do. In the chat, share one word that describes why your organization exists. Share one word that describes why your organization exists. And I think maybe we can even come unmuted. Does somebody want to unmute and share one word of why your organization exists?
We got we got a lot coming through in the chat. CJ says hope. Archie says service. Edwina Freeman says mentorship. David
Mm,
says opportunity. Kimberly says advocacy.
that's all very good. Very good. I love that advocacy really resonates with me. Um, yeah. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but we know that when bills and laws and things are changed, that we can really have a greater impact. So, question. When you hear data, what comes to mind? And I don't know if you guys are all in a safe place where you can talk, but I like interaction. So, does anybody want to share? When you hear data, what comes to mind? Are you excited? Are you overwhelmed? You unsure? You're hopeful?
I get a little overwhelmed because I know it takes work to get data. So I know I have to create some type of process to gather all of these things. So I don't know if stress is too far, but a little underneath.
In between,
Yep.
right? Thank you, Ashley. Anybody else? What comes to mind when you think of data? Or does what Ashley said resonate with you? We have any answers in the chat?
CJ in the chat says yes, overwhelming.
Mm, okay.
Which
I'm trying to get a sense of where you are based on data so I know where to go in the presentation. So overwhelmed, I've heard that twice. Does
Ashley,
anybody else have anything to add?
Ashley Brodnock says storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. And that's actually the next part of the web series is going to lead into storytelling, because you have to be able to tell a compelling story. And we know that the pockets, the funding follow that heart work when you're able to put the numbers into a picture that then tell a story. So I'll say with me, when I hear about data, um, I would say I'm excited, I'm hopeful. I believe in the beginning of my career year, I was very overwhelmed because it's like, what data do you want? What data do you want me to collect? Different stakeholders want different data. And so it's, what data am I collecting for my board? What data am I collecting for my staff? What data am I collecting for the participants? Because they matter as well. They need to know that the organization that they're supporting um, has data, because data creates credibility. So, a story of impact when I had to use data, I worked for the Gateway Region YMCA, which is in St. Louis. And I came into a situation where I had a dual position and I was managing over 30 something programs with multi-millions of dollars. And they were youth programs, youth and teen programs. And then also simultaneously managing a YMCA without walls. And so all of those programs were grant funded, and they were internally funded and they were externally funded. But they were doing a great job of doing the work and transforming lives, but they weren't doing a great job of telling how they were doing that. The data wasn't telling the real story of the lives and the impact. And so my leadership challenged me because I had to do a comprehensive grant report for every one of those programs twice a year, a mid-year report and an end of the year report. And so I used a framework, and I'm a fan of frameworks because many of them are research based, scientific proven processes that are validated. And so what I used was the 40 developmental assets, and it's developed by the Pacific Institute. And it's a validation that shows that youth and teens need a certain amount of developmental assets, and there's 40 of them. Half are internal and half are external. And so what I did is I put a logic model together for every one of those programs. And the validation tool was, are they helping to develop these developmental assets? And I was able to measure that impact. I was able to use that as a tool within that logic model with charts and graphs. And so that was able to get us even more funding because we could measure our outcomes. So not only did we secure more funding, we also helped the staff to understand the why behind what they were doing and what they actually were accomplishing. Many times we know that we are accomplishing and doing great things, but we're not able to articulate it in a quantitative way. We can tell the stories, but can we tell it in numbers, lives changed, communities impacted? So I'm going to go to the next slide. So what is a cause-driven leader? We all serve a cause. It's our mission. Cause-driven leadership defined not just it's not just managing programs, but it's leading vision and aligning staff and volunteers and your resources toward impact. So it's guiding, it's a spear, it's a direction, because the cause is the mission, and the mission should be driving everything that you're doing. It requires clarity. If you can't measure it, you can't tell the story. Mission versus vision versus values mission equal what you do daily, what you do every single day, the change you want to see, and how you operate. So it's about conviction, not just titles, because every person is a leader. Every person in your organization is a leader, not just the CEO, not just the executive director, not just the person over the program. Everybody that the members, the clients, the participants come into contact with is leading your organization. So leadership is defined by your position. It's not defined by your position. It's defined by your unwavering commitment to your cause and your ability to inspire others towards a vision. We've all probably worked for those inspirational leaders that they could just get you to do anything. And the saying goes like people don't leave organizations because of money. Many times they leave because of a bad boss. And when you're more committed to a mission than the leaders, sometimes it's very hard to continue to be focused. So the numbers and putting frameworks in place can help everybody get into alignment. And aligning everything with your organization's purpose and mission helps you with every decision for the programs and gathering that data. And it helps you to make the impact more measurable and visible. So I wanted to focus on a case story from mission drift to mission refocus. The challenge was a community health nonprofit was running 15 programs across multiple counties. Staff felt overwhelmed, funders were confused about the impact, and the board questioned organizational effectiveness. Now, this is not a situation that you want to be in as a organization. The problem, activities were multiplying but weren't clearly connected to mission outcomes. So the solution was leadership implemented a simple logic model process, mapping each program back to the core mission's goals. They eliminated 6 programs and strengthened 9 others. The result was 40% increase in measurable community health outcomes within 18 months. Organizations can lose focus when activities multiply but don't tie back to the mission. Refocusing with a simple logic model brought clarity and renewed impact. So that's just the power of putting a simple tool in place that can help you measure the data to then be able to talk about the impact that your organization is making. So a best practice is to line your outcomes and data reporting directly with your mission statement. So I know probably all of your organizations have a mission statement. So you want to make sure that you're aligning what you want to see happen through your programs and activities to that mission statement. Data as a leadership tool. Data helps leaders make decisions, communicate value, and build credibility. So, another example, instead of saying we serve meals to seniors, say 85% of seniors we serve report improved health after 6 months. That's such a more powerful and compelling statement than just saying our organization serves seniors. We serve hot meals to seniors and make sure that they have a hot meal. So now I want to introduce the logic model. And we are going to have some time in this session for you to actually put together some statements and put some data together based on your own organization. So I want you to be mindful of that and get geared up for that. So for anybody, how many of you have heard of a logic model, seen a logic model, or does anybody have a logic model currently? And you can unmute or put it in the chat. Is there anything in the chat, Shekinah? Okay, let's see.
Ashley says I've seen one and she's worked with one.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm looking at the chat. Okay. So that would tell me that most people are not necessarily familiar with this framework. The logic model is a roadmap. It connects what you invest, what you do, and what changes because of your work. So that is very compelling in a snapshot to be able to talk about impact. So when you're looking for grant funding, this is a very valuable tool. When you're going to board meetings, when you have to do an executive report or a program report, this is can also be a very valuable tool when you're looking for collaborations with like-minded organizations to understand what synergies exist, or even to look at missing pieces that you may have in a certain area and how you may align with another organization or program. You can utilize this tool as well. So implementing frameworks is a great way to ensure that your organization stays cause-driven and mission-led. It helps you to focus on your North Star. Your inputs are resources you use. Your activities are what you do. Your output is what you produce. And your outcome, the changes are results, which then equals your transformation, your impact. And you can create an impact statement based off of these different categories. Okay. So I'm trying to go to the next slide. There we go. So this is a deeper dive into the logic model in a worksheet that I actually want you to participate in and to produce for one program or one thing that you want to focus on in your organization. So write your organization's mission statement. List 3 outcomes you want to see that are aligned with your mission, and begin a mini logic model. So that's the activity. So I'm going to go over this one. So it's your turn to start filling in your mission-driven logic model. Just keep it simple and clear. It doesn't have to be very complex. Just probably the first thing that kind of pops in your mind. All of us have something that we're working on right now, or something that we want to improve, or a challenge that we may have in our organizations. So your inputs, what resources do you invest? So that can look like staff time, funding, volunteers, space, equipment. With activities, what do you do with those resources? So what are you doing with your staff time, funding, volunteers, space, or equipment? Outputs, what direct products come as a result of that? How many people served? How many sessions are held? What materials and resources are you distributing and hours provided? Then the outcome, what changes occur in people? What's the change that your programs, your activities, your staff, volunteers are having? Is there knowledge gain, skills developed, behavior change, our attitudes shifted? I know I've definitely participated in programs that I developed additional skills from. I behavior change. I participated in some diet classes, those type of things, nutrition classes, financial literacy classes, that all help me to do something different as a result of participating in those programs. And then the impact. What long-term transformation happens over time? So I know when I taught Dave Ramsey's class and also went through it, a long-term transformation that happened for me is I continue to use that snowball uh, philosophy, I guess, that he introduced, with paying down, the small bills first, and then taking that money that you would pay towards that and then applying it towards your next smallest bill until you have paid down, the debt. And so that has definitely been something that stuck with me and that I teach, even my children about. And then the impact, community conditions, or is the work that you're doing changing the community? Is there a systems change, policy? We talked about advocacy. Is there influence that's happening, cultural shifts? So start small, focus on one key program or service for your first logic model. Be specific, use concrete language that clearly connects your mission, and make it measurable. Ensure each element can be tracked. So this is an example of what now I want us to interactively do. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go over this. And then if two people could decide to share, um, then that would be great. So I'm going to put a timer on for 2 minutes. So you're going to select, you're going to write your mission statement, vision, your values, and then list 3 outcomes your organization wants to see. And put any questions in the chat. If you have any questions about this activity, or you can come unmuted as well, and just ask. But I'll give you 2 minutes to work on that.
Doctor is the biggest fan of Bruno Mars. He makes
Trying to find some music.
I'm gonna try.
All right, we got 1 minute. All right. So you had 2 minutes to work on that. And I private messaged a couple people to see if they would share. But if there's anybody that wants to jump in and share your mission statement and then 3 outcomes your organization wants to see that's aligned with your mission statement.
Okay, this is Peaches with Laquita from Free Heart.
I'm the
Yes,
community support
ma'am.
coordinator. Okay, I can share mine. So the mission is empower and reunite with family impacted by incarceration through advocate, advocation, and support. My vision, community free from incarceration, where families strive, core value, liberation, healing, community, love, and accountability. And my three things to answer the question, the two reflects outcome is more family reunited, strong leadership from impacted people. Three, policy change that reduce incarceration. That was mine.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, baby.
Look, let me give you applause.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so is it okay if I dive into yours?
Yes, yes, most definitely.
Okay, great. So, one thing that stood out to me is when you say more, do you have an exact number in mind? So like per year, per month, et cetera, that more encompasses?
I ain't gonna never say more. I just put more because that can be more in a month, more in a week, more in one day. You never is enough more to get a family reunited. You know what I'm saying? So I just use that word for more. It can just vary into years, more days, anything. So that's why I put more family reunited because I know we deal with formerly incarcerated people so much that's not reunited with their family because I was one of them. When I was incarcerated, I was not, you know, I was not with my family. I wasn't connecting with my family. But when I got out, I started free hard, reunite me with my family and my loved ones in the best possible way they could. So both of us can see the situation on both sides. And that's just not me because I did fine, but how I had impact on them by doing what I'm doing to go where I went. So that's why I put more.
Yes, ma'am. I feel your passion. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I used to work with adjudicated youth in Indianapolis, and so I definitely understand what you're saying regarding just visits, et cetera, and how important that is for the rehabilitation and even the transition of someone, that's been in the injustice system. But so thank you so much for sharing. Is there I saw somebody come unmuted. Share, please.
You
Is there somebody else that will share?
I can share. I think
Thank
that
you.
we all I think that we all are pretty familiar with the villages, everything. But our mission, and I'll keep it short, our mission is to incubate Black nonprofit leaders. Our vision, to create a more equitable ecosystem to promote long-term sustainability and enhance inclusivity in the nonprofit sector. Our core values are adaptability, compassion, and integrity. And the three outcomes our organization wants to see, again, long-term sustainability, developing pivotal research by elevating nonprofit leaders together. And I think, again, just creating a more equitable ecosystem to promote long-term sustainability for the nonprofit sector.
I love that. I love that. So, with what you wrote with the three outcomes, what's one that really bubbles up for the village that you would want to gather more data on, be more diligent in highlighting with any population, any stakeholder?
I think that between this year and next year, we have intentionally been gathering data to be able to pull a report for just the state of Black nonprofit leaders, not just in Tennessee, but across the US in general. I think that if we can really gather enough data to pull together a full-on report just for the state of Black nonprofit leaders, I think that that would really be something that we could leverage to be able to show to funders that this isn't just a problem in Tennessee, but this is just a problem across, all sectors for Black-led nonprofits.
Yeah, and I think that that's so great when it's not in a isolation, it's not in a bubble, where it seems like, well, maybe this is just happening in Nashville, or maybe it's just the nonprofits that are in the village. No, it's a global issue. It's an overall issue. And a lot of times, it's our systems that are creating a lot of these challenges and issues. And it gives us a tool to be able to have language and data that supports what we all know to be true. So thank you for sharing. I would just love to have one more person, one more person, if one more person would share, because this is so good. Okay, I don't know if Dr. Paris is still available to talk. Are you available and willing to share? Okay. Well, thank you to everybody that did share. I want to give you these QR codes. Um, So if you want to do this activity on your own time or dig deeper into it, 2 minutes wasn't enough time, or it doesn't feel like you have a statement that you want to share out, I definitely do understand that as well. But the data-driven worksheet is on your left. And then there's an Excel version of the logic model where you can take that and actually put in your information to walk through all of those different categories so that we have something to work with for the next section, because each session is in the web series is going to build on each other. So these are things that I'm going to ask you to bring back completed to the next session so that we can then begin to work on storytelling. So I'll give you a couple seconds to capture that. And also, I can send these things to Shekinah as well, and she can send them out. But I wanted to make sure to have these things available for you. So, a leadership tip. Leaders must be interpreters of mission. Your job is to keep translating your why into goals, data, and stories that people can actually grasp and understand and retell for you. You want to make many ambassadors that go out and tell your story in spaces that you're not in. Data is a leadership language. Data speaks the language of credibility. It turns your mission from words into measurable impact that funders, partners, and communities understand. It builds trust, and inspires actions. Numbers tell stories that motivate donors, volunteers, and partners to join your cause. I know that I've definitely been moved to give at different events, luncheons, fundraisers that I've went to, because the impact was so great that it moved me. I wanted to be a part of supporting that mission, supporting that vision. When they were able to tell me the numbers of lives changed, but then I also saw someone that was then telling the story that represented those numbers. Um, and it was something that was dear to my heart, like education. I'm a big advocate for education and youth. So it drives improvement as well. Clear metrics help you identify what's working and what needs to be adjusted. Because sometimes we can know that we need to change something, but we don't have clear enough data that gives us any type of language to get someone to even help us. We just know that sometimes we need help. But if we can clearly articulate why we need help, where we need help, then we can come up with a better solution. So we want to match data with the mission. So we want to reframe how we talk about the work that we do. Instead of just reporting activities, we want to connect data points to the mission. And so that's the reason for that activity. It helps you to connect outcomes, things that you want to happen with the mission, which then gives you a clear focus on your North Star. So, some things that we can reframe that are activity focused. We serve 200 meals this month. So instead, this is the example I gave earlier, 85% of seniors reported better health after receiving meals for 6 months. We hosted 5 job training workshops. How about saying 73% of workshop participants gained employment within 90 days? We had 50 youth in our program. Youth showed 40% improvement in academic performance over the school year as a result of your intervention, your program. Some data, it's the same data, but the impact is clarified. The difference is connecting numbers to meaningful change. And that's the language. That's the leadership language, connecting those numbers to the meaningful change, the transformation that's happened. Data tells a story, but you also wanted to make an impact and create a picture that resonates with your stakeholders. So, as cause driven leaders, how does clarity in mission help you inspire your team and your community? And that's a question. So, once again, if anybody wants to come unmuted, or if you want to place it in the chat. So, as a cause driven leader, how does clarity in your mission help you inspire your team and your community? Because I know when I was a executive director, I had to clarify why we were doing what we were doing, make sure people understood the mission. When I worked for the YMCA, I still know that mission to this day, because it was talked about all the time. It was always before me. It was the guiding star of why we did what we did. I understood the why. So, does anybody want to share, or is there anything in the chat?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, I can. As cause-driven leaders, how does clarity in mission help you inspire your team and your community? And so I was just giving an example because the YMCA was so clear about their mission. Um, we put programs into practice that build healthy mind, body, and spirit for all. I still know that years later. And I knew that that's the reason why I was doing what I was doing. And I knew how to do it because of that mission. It was a guiding star on everything that was being done. So, in your organizations, you have a mission, but how is it helping to create clarity and inspire your team to know why they're doing what they're doing, or the community to understand why your organization exists or why they should support your organization?
I can go ahead. And sorry
Oh,
about before, I couldn't come off mute fast enough. I was trying. So my company is Declutter Across America, and we work with military veterans. And it really inspires our team because it's veterans helping veterans. And I don't know if you all know this, female veterans have the highest suicide rate. And a lot of times they're dealing with PTSD, anxiety, military sexual trauma, and it shows up in their environment. And so we in the military, no one hears us. Like we're the lost cause. And so really having that mission where veterans helping each other inspires my team.
thank you. Thanks for letting me know you couldn't come off mute. I was like, she's ignoring me. No, thank you for sharing that and being so transparent. You know, that's a tough subject, and we want to honor our vets, putting their lives on the line for our safety. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for your service. So we do have, oh, I want to stop and see if anybody else wanted to share.
I think that our mission helps just keep us aligned. I think that when you work in the nonprofit sector, everyone is so passionate, and the more we learn about needs that need to be fulfilled, we want to just jump in head first and fulfill those needs. And I think that it's important as a leader to remind yourself and your team that everything can't fit in your mission and we can't be all things to all people. And I think that that also helps yourself and your team not become burnt out because we start to do things that aren't aligned with our mission. Yes, this is a need, but where can, like, we will be best if we stay aligned with our mission. That way we aren't burning ourselves out. That way we aren't spreading ourselves too thin. And so I think that that is something that, just helps me as a leader, just constantly reminding myself where our organization, why it was designed, and what gaps is it designed to fill.
That 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 was powerful. And I agree. And one statement that helped me in my business, somebody said, if you're trying to be all things to all people, then you're being nothing to anybody. And it was reworded in a workshop. Basically, when people say, everybody's my client, everybody's my target market. And they were like, well, if you're serving everybody, you're serving nobody, because you have to nail it down, and you have to be willing to say no to things that take you off of your mission and why your organization was created, because it will have you over here doing something totally different than what you were created to do, the whole purpose of the organization. So I definitely resonate with that. And I just want to leave space for anybody else that wants to share why your mission helps you communicate with your staff and the community of the importance of your organization. Brother Caldwell, you want to share?
Had a feeling you were going to do that. No, it's good. Um, a couple of things. First, I want to preface it by saying this. Um, the young men and young ladies that are part of our staff are part of the communities that we serve. So we are who we serve. When we reminisce, and we don't have to do a lot of it, the people who we serve, we were once walking in those young men and young ladies' steps. So that that keeps us connected to our mission and keep us mission driven, because we know what it took to get where we are. And so we want to provide every opportunity to get our young people and the families in which we serve empowered, not just to have a lunch for that day, but how to actually go and be able to provide that lunch for themselves on a regular basis. Uh, just using that analogy. So that keeps us connected. And one of the things that I've said to quite a few CPA people when they're doing the audits and stuff like that, when I become so bogged down in administrative stuff and I can't reach and teach and touch and uh, sit down and understand the people in which we're serving, then I don't want to do it anymore.
Mm.
It's really about being on that front line uh, and actually serving who you say you're going to serve, and really meaning it. And for me, as the executive director, I believe it starts with me. You know, when I become afraid to put a broom in my hand and to wipe off a table or to
Come
serve
on.
the young people that we're serving, when I'm afraid to go into the community and sit in the house, whether bugs are coming down the wall or everything is clean, when I'm afraid, or if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing what we set out to do. And we always want to keep it a buck or keep it 100, as they say, to stay close to the mission. And that's what we do.
See why you needed to share. Thank you.
Well,
That's it right there. That's it right there. And I so resonate because I started as an intern in a nonprofit, given a youth program to go out and build that program, and being that close and that proximate to the challenges, the issues that you're trying to address, and then moving up, and you don't have that opportunity to serve in that way anymore. When I'm sitting in the office and I'm seeing the kids go past the office, when I used to be the person they came in my office after school, it hits different, and I so agree. But a mentor had to remind me, you're still making an impact, but it's just different. But I feel you. When you've been on the ground, boots on the ground, it's hard when you then have to take that administrative role, and you're removed, so I resonate with that. So today, thank you so much to everybody that shared. That's so good. Today, we aligned your mission with measurable outcomes. Between now and session 2, I need for you, or want for you to, and ask for you to refine your mini logic model. And ask this question to yourself: does my data reflect my mission? Does my data reflect my mission? And so the homework is here. Refine your mini logic model. Ask the critical questions. Does my data reflect my mission? Identify data gaps. What mission critical outcomes are you not currently measuring? Practice mission connected language. Rewrite 3 activity statements as mini impact statements. So bring those things completed to the next session, so that we can build upon it. And this slide just tells you a little sneak preview of what the next session is in the web series. So coming next, data for impact measuring and storytelling. So next time we'll dig into data for impact measurement and storytelling, and you'll learn how to collect the right data and turn it into powerful stories that showcase your mission in action. And I thank you so much. And I'll leave it open for any questions, and then also reserving time for your announcements, because I believe that that's invaluably important to our village. And I am done, Shekinah. I'll figure out how to stop sharing.
Questions, announcements? Does anybody need to come off mute? I know I saw some things being dropped in the chat. I don't want to overlook them. If anybody wanted to redrop anything in the chat, come off mute.
Good afternoon, Shekinah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Uh, I dropped in the chat in the Urban League office on September 16th. Kroger will be here trying to hire at least 54 people. As you guys know, that the one on Monroe is closed. So we're helping to find the right candidates for some of those positions that they have at Monroe. It's going to be at least 54 people they need to hire at Monroe at that location. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, I'm going to drop in the chat the Urban League events website to be able to look up, because we have an expungement clinic next Saturday at Madison Church of Christ, and we'll be there from 10 to 2. We're actually going to have Mr. Gentry's office, and there's going to be a judge there. So it's going to happen fairly quick. So we have about 26 names filled out. Definitely want to pass that out to everybody. Tell a friend that needs to get something expunged, because sometimes people don't know that some of the offenses that they have on their record are expungible. So we're going to continue doing that work. So that's the announcements I got.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for the amazing work that y'all are doing. I know I would definitely share it with my network. Thank you for being able to join us today. Anybody else need to come off mute before we hop off? Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank y'all again for being able to join us. Another quick shout out, the Villages Retreat that is open. That RSVP link is now open on Eventbrite. Ashley and myself dropped the flyer as well as the link to register to that event in the chat. The dates for that is October 2nd and 3rd. That is a 2-day retreat. And we ask that you only register if you can be present for both days, but we know that this is the time of the year where people really need to take a pause, take a beat. So if you, a member of your team, would love to be in that space, please register as soon as possible. And we will see y'all next week virtually. Have a safe week, y'all.
You too. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Everybody have a good weekend.
You too.